Born in Malta in 1967, the youngest in a working class family of 8 children, Immanuel Mifsud started writing poetry at the age of 16 when he co-founded the literary group Parnassus and began to work in experimental theatre groups. He has published poetry, prose and 3 children's books. His writing career has oscillated between fame and notoriety, with one of his short story collections banned in 2005 because of the explicitness of his writing, while in 2011 he won the European Union Prize for Literature. In 2005, Maurice Rawdon translated his collection Confidential Reports, and in 2011 he published Bateau Noir, a bilingual edition with translations from Maltese into French by Nadia Mifsud and Catherine Camilleri. Please welcome Immanuel Mifsud.
Thanks, Nico. Orange. Yael Menahem cooks soup. Facing the wall, her waist against the oven or the kitchen sink, she is always silent. Yael Menahem's heart always beats fast. She is afraid that one day a rocket will shoot through the kitchen window and fall into the saucepan, into the soup. Yael Menahem's heart beats most of all, since they have put her Yuval, who only recently still sucked at her breast to drink her milk, into a uniform and have taken him where the fire was. Yael Menahem wishes to go out walking or running or dancing or at least to lie on the ground, but she's afraid, very afraid. And when she gets into the bus to go care for her mother, she examines each unknown face and glances at her. And this strange behavior makes her even more afraid and almost squashes her morale. And Yael Menahem knows that one day she will lie down and choke, and she will not get up again, unless, that is, someday a rocket will come to rest by her side where once her husband used to lie before it disappeared. Nadwa Hamad cooks beans. Facing the wall, her waist against the oven or the kitchen sink, she is always silent. Nadwa Hamad's heart always beats fast. She is afraid that someday a helicopter will come and shoot into her house and the ceiling will fall in on her. Nadwa Hamad's heart beats most of all when now that the men in their green uniform are allowed to enter everywhere. Suhail is going to school, and often they think of schools as mice nests, devil caves. Nadwa Hamad is very afraid, and as she walks on the pavement on her way to take care of her mother, she scrutinizes every face which glances at her big belly. Who knows what they think she's carrying under her dress? And this glance frightens her as well, and makes her heart race. She wishes so much that she could wander off, greeting all she met, smiling at them, telling them how good she is at cooking beans. And Nadwa Hamad knows that someday she will hear the heavy strides in her little street, and perhaps even shots. Or maybe she'll be wakened by the roof descending to lie on top of her bed, where once her husband had lain, and whose whereabouts she doesn't know anymore. I, Immanuel Mifsud, have a name as Jewish as Jeremiah and Jesus Christ. My surname is Arabic like the Prophet. Before she died, my mother split an orange open for me. This is a Jaffa orange, a Jaffa. Its juice was red, the color of fire, the color of blood. My mother told me, in half of this orange you have a sister, and in the other half you have another sister. Go down to the sea and row toward the Middle East. You will find them somewhere. One is Yael, the other one is Nadwa. And Immanuel Mifsud found them fearing each other and afraid of buses, of supermarkets, afraid of streets, afraid of the dark, afraid of rockets, afraid of missiles, afraid of people with power, fearful for their lives, afraid for Yuval in a uniform too big for him, afraid for Suhail who goes to school every morning, afraid of their following shadow, afraid of the silence at night, the silence of God who sleeps alone behind the furthest corner, old and dumb. He found them afraid and weary and sad, and found them longing for one moment in which they could look into each other's eyes and perhaps start to laugh. I'd like to read another poem to be the final one. It's called The White Poem, and it's subtitled shortly before A Dose of Lorazepam. For those who don't know what lorazepam is, it's a tranquilizer given to people who suffer from acute depression. Look at this pill, so very, very white, swearing it won't be long before it's over. Doesn't it look like the dead leaves which fall from the green tree, which once gave life to? White is the dust which slips between our fingers. White is the blood which used to boil as well. White is the feeling I found in my pillow. White too the sound of my silent cell phone. White is the snow. White too the calendar. White is the night you left behind you like flowers I picked for you to let them wait. One day, I might awake and make my way to meet the exiled throngs who wake each morning with lethargic bones, who start to cry again before they sleep. I have a dream as white as is this pill, which swears it won't be long till this is over. White, like the end which waits for me. White as the corpse I carry in my womb. White as the words you never whispered. White as the train which left and then arrived before it was due. I look, I can't see you, as you clothed in white, and your face is the hue of the snow that fell all of a sudden one night. I thought it would be sweeter. I thought it would be sweeter. I was wrong. I was wrong. Thanks.